Bible Basics Q&A with Professor Pete.
Hello again, everybody. Peter Sibilio here from Lourdes University. We love your questions at Annunciation Radio, and it's my pleasure to help with some answers. Today's question comes from Chris, who asks, where does the Bible talk about the Eucharist? We find foreshadowing for the Eucharist throughout the Old Testament. For example, in Leviticus 16, the high priest uses the blood of bulls and goats to expiate sin. Just so does Paul say that Christ's blood does that for us now. The clearest foreshadowing of the Eucharist comes in Exodus with Passover, where the angel of death passes over the homes of the Israelites and they pass over from slavery to freedom. That is why Jesus uses a Passover meal to institute the Eucharist near the end of each of the Synoptic Gospels. He also uses Eucharistic language in his Bread of Life discourse in John 6. And we can't forget this passage as it contains the only miracle to show up in all four Gospels. Yet even before the Gospels were written, Paul tells us the Eucharist was already being celebrated. In 1 Corinthians 11, he writes, "What I received, I also passed on to you." In other words, Christians were already celebrating the Eucharist when Paul became one, and this tradition was already in effect before anyone wrote about it. So Scripture and tradition come together like two hands clasped in prayer, with the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist emerging from their combined palms. And so this week, let's spend extra time with each of these passages, especially before Mass, so that we may truly behold what we receive and believe what we behold. And we are truly beholden to you for this question, Chris. Thank you so much for it, and thank you all for listening. We are listening to you.